Absolutely.
All right, y'all. Welcome to Mindful Monday. I guess what we're calling it Defense Against the Dark Arts. So it's going to be pretty fun. And hopefully Palo Santo is a good defense against the dark arts too.
Absolutely.
Cool.
It's a wonderful protective energy.
Sweet. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get going, a couple announcements. What announcements do we have? Okay, so Seeker's Paradise, if you haven't seen the emails, or I think I've done one Instagram post on it so far. I'm a little bit behind, according to some social media people, but it's going to be happening in 2 weeks on a Saturday. It's going to be really, really fun. It's community-centric, all-inclusive, metaphysical fair. So it's kind of like this. We also have 17 healers who are going to be offering mini sessions that are included with the ticket. And I've gotten readings or healings from most of them, and they're extremely skilled at what they do. So it's a pretty epic experience, and there's a lot of people who can't make it Monday, so it's going to be a bigger event. It's not happening in this room, it's happening in the auditorium and Tranquility Room downstairs. So more of that's online and in the emails, but just want to give you a heads up. That's in about 2 weeks. And then again, today's all about defense against the dark arts. It's really about how do we deal with challenging people and challenging energies in general from more of an energetic perspective. So that's what we're going to be playing. Well, some people believe that wearing the dark clothes is very useful for certain ways. Right. And so anyhow, what was I going to say? And with that too, I just want to let you all know a few small things came up to. I do my best to be a steward of this community, make sure everyone's the relationships are good, but also use your own discernment, and please reach out if for whatever reason you feel uncomfortable, someone made you uncomfortable in some way, someone was kind of overselling you or, I don't know, hitting on you and it felt like it crossed the line or they didn't get the hint of no. Just bring it up with me, and that's part of my job as, I guess, holding this container and making sure it ends up being good. I don't really like those conversations, but it happens, and so just bring it up to me. Okay. With that being said, now we get into the fun part. And before we have Mimi come on stage, I really want us to connect with each other and to get to know a little bit more. I thought a fun prompt question would be, your name, and then what is a strategy you have right now for releasing when you feel like you've taken on other people's stuff. So we'll break up into groups of maybe Milo, what do you have?
I just have a question. So the people who are wearing black, those are the dark arts people, and we'll be practicing against them?
Yeah, we're going to be practicing against the people in black tonight. Yes, the people wearing black tonight are the dark arts.
I get all my people over here, so we have a chance.
Oh, wow. I'm one of them. Batman's not
Can
a dark.
I say everything else perfect?
So we'll break up into small-ish groups, maybe 5 to 8 or so. So maybe that back group and kind of this table-ish area who's also plotting world takeover. And then this back corner, and you all will sort it out for yourselves, but maybe this couch kind of, these people, y'all. And so I'll give you just an example. I would say my name is Chris. One strategy I have to get other people out of my space is even just to take a shower and just intend that their energy move off of me and down the drain. And then we would move on. If you get into the opportunity to connecting after, go. But of course, let's be mindful on time. We'll have about 10 minutes for just connecting. Sound good? All right, cool. I trust you can find a way of grouping up together. And then we'll come back together. Oh, and I'm going to be curious about a few shares. So track if there's any common things that you've noticed or something particularly unique, and we'll see if that ends up being a useful strategy for all of us. So cool. All right, go forth, and we'll come back in just a few minutes.
We just still in Ecuador, yeah, because I want everybody to get a good one.
And beginning to wrap conversation. Don't worry, we'll have more time to talk. So before we hand it off to Mimi, were there any common or very unique ways that people found to I see you nodding, Jessica.
Yeah, okay, our group, what really resonated amongst all of us is that it's not so much somebody else's energy affecting us, but us allowing somebody else's behavior or emotions or whatever for us to leak out. So it's more of a return to self versus karate chopping somebody's bad vibes.
Okay. So what she said was it was more about how you're kind of responding to other people's behavior and leaking out your energy. So when you come back to self, you get your energy back.
That's how I do it.
Cool.
Like reserve,
All right. Thanks, y'all.
like revert to observer state.
Revert to observer state.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Instead of acting from your ego.
So revert to the observer rather than acting from ego.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. What did you notice,
I
Alan?
noticed with us, there was a theme of a lot of like loving it, like accepting it with love, and also washing it as well. So it's
okay.
almost like washing it with love.
Sweet. Washing it with love. Does that resonate with anybody else?
Yeah, I've been really kind of alchemizing my pain into doing it for love,
Hmm.
and just kind of centering it on love.
Cool.
So even like the hurt, like isn't taken away from me.
Cool. And one thing that I have noticed, and I've read this in different books, and different people of different kind of levels of consciousness will say all you need is love, and I would agree with that. And sometimes we're not there yet. Sometimes we're human. And so that's what I feel like the Palo Santo can really benefit us for. That's what some of the energy tools we'll play with tonight can benefit with us for. So I think with that, let's bring let's bring you up
All right.
and share.
Thank you, everybody. How is it going? Thank you. How is it going with my voice? Can everybody hear me well?
Yep.
Yeah, so we don't need the mic, right? At least for my part. Okay, super. And you know how I like to think about love as more of like a level vibrational energy, right? So even if we don't, I know when we think about love, it's always about like, am I in love, or is it romantic, or what does that mean? Is there expectation? And sometimes there's like a whole drama component to it, and sometimes that can just be an energy level as the highest frequency that we can be on. So I just wanted to add that in. Well, thank you for your attention. This is my passion, to speak about Palo Santo and to present it in a way that I hope is effective and can optimize your well-being, not just for this afternoon, but first thing tomorrow morning. I'm going to give you a little homework at the end, so don't let me forget if I do. My name is Mimi Dara, and I am the founder of Maison Palo Santo, and we are a full-service wellness sensory house made up of products, experiences, and partners all over the country and in Ecuador, where we have our home and our Palo Santo operation. I also live here in Austin, Texas now. I came from New York in 2023, so sorry about that. California, New York, what's up? We came from the middle, when I was looking at YouTube, like, if you're from New York, California, don't watch this. But it was interesting. Austin has been such a beautiful, welcoming, kind place to me, and you can find our Palo Santo probably in most of the wellness spaces around town, and certainly all over here in the village. So that's just my background. Also a published author and retreat leader, and the lead ambassador of my own Maison Palo Santo products. However, everybody has their little piece of Palo Santo. If you don't have one, then just grab one from the table, and there's some little bottles of essential oil going around. You can put a little drop on. Has anybody used Palo Santo? Does anybody have a part of a relationship with it in their practice? Anybody want to popcorn like how they use it? Go ahead.
So for me, Palo Santo is a safer alternative than sage.
Okay.
Because, like, the historical energies associated with sage is very, I guess, controversial. Like, it could repel bad spirits, but at the same time, it could attract spirits. So you wanted to kind of do a safer alternative, which is Palo Santo. It just kind of clear the space. That's kind of the main goal of it.
Mm-hmm.
Sage is like involved in more complex rituals, but mostly, yeah, it's a very basic grounding, clearing device.
Perfect. I love that. Thank you so much. I couldn't have said it better myself. So thank you. There is a difference between Palo Santo and sage. Sage, I always think about it as if you just want to clear everything out, right? Empty slate. But then if it's empty, and let's think about it as a house. The house is empty, no furniture, all windows are open, all doors are open. What could happen? Things can kind of creep in, and all of a sudden, like, we got a couple little squatters upstairs, little toxic invaders in the corner that you can't get out, right? So the Palo Santo, if you're going to use together, you use the sage first, And then you can use the Palo Santo second to not just like create a protective bubble around to protect the energy, to protect your energy, but also just to kind of close it up. So thank you for that. Anybody else have a way that they like to use it in their self-care that's different or something to add? Did you have your hand up?
I did, but I didn't have a good experience. I had so much I bought it.
Yeah.
It was too intense for me.
Okay.
And I just,
You stop using it. Well, thanks for following and listening to your own body. Smell is like taste. It's very personal. So if you're in here right now and you're like, oh my God, I can't stand this, I'm sorry, number one. We're not going to be burning it. But hopefully you saw the description and you're like, okay, I'm going to be down with this. But it is very personal. And because scent is our sense that is most connected to our limbic system of the brain, which is responsible for emotional response and stress response, it does have that kind of deep subconscious connection to maybe a time in your life that was something similar. Has anybody ever walked into a place or smelled something and was like instantly transported by memory? So that's what we're going to do today is we will create a scent anchor in just a moment with a beautiful grounding immersion, because these are wonderful techniques to do on our own. But thank you so much for bringing us together in community, because when we have the group frequency, the energy, we get to really connect together as one. And so my presentations about Palo Santo is all about how Palo Santo can't just survive on its own, although it's a very resilient tree. This is an example of what a piece of Palo Santo looks like in the forest, right? So you can see it after. I'll leave it up, and if you want to put your hand on it and just kind of get the energy of it, which is very grounding, very centering, very close to the earth. I walk around like this in the airports, wrapped up like a little mummy, and they're like, oh, there she goes again, doing some weird shit again. Rocking it like a baby. It's my baby, it's my whole life. This is the trees are my family. So I brought this for us to take a look at. But I'll ask you guys another question. Does anybody know what Palo Santo translates to? Holy wood, right? Holy stick. Anybody know why they call it holy?
They used to use it way back in the religions, I guess. They still do it in the Catholic Church, right?
Yes, correct. Anybody else? Another? Well, and this you can kind of put in the back of your mind for our meditation is Palo Santo is the only plant that dies first to get its healing properties and aromatics. So it has deep symbolism for new beginnings and rebirth. So imagine you're a Palo Santo tree in the forest. It's dry, arid soil. You are super resilient. You make it through 6 months of drought. Then you make it through 6 months of full sun, right? You have little fruit. And by the way, I'm going to spritz some fruit of the Palo Santo around later just to kind of activate us before we leave. And the birds are coming and eating your fruit and depositing the seeds and helping reforest. And then little critters come and they make a nest on one of your big branches, and the branch falls down. Boom. And it's from that fallen branch that it takes years, 3, 4, 5, up to 10 years for the Palo Santo, for the outer layers of the bark to decompose. And you're left with the truest essence of the plant, which we call el corazón, the heart. So this is the heart of the tree. And the oil that you or I put on your stick is distilled by hand from our family in Ecuador, from the forest. We got the branches with our team. So it's been treated with high respect from the beginning. So it has a really, really positive, loving, protective energy for us. And the reason why I want to put that out there for my friend in the back, what's your name with the blue? Natalika. For Natalika, I hope that today maybe we can do a little switch for your experience and give you a different perspective, because you can find Palo Santo on Amazon that comes in sachets of $20 for a pound, and it's been sitting in the warehouse. And listen, I'm not against what anybody is doing. I can only speak about what I do, but it matters. How we do things matter. So my intention today is to plant a little seed of maybe if we pay attention to even this little piece of Palo Santo, this can symbolize having just more reverence for everything that we do. Not just the products that we use, but the language that we use, the words that we speak. How can we be expressing our highest authentic expression of our corazón through the way that we move, the way that we interact, and the way that we can accept and forgive and still be inspired and open, right? So it goes much deeper than just the actual plant. So I just wanted to mention that. And also just to touch on your Palo Santo. So before the Spaniards came to colonize, it was Palo Bueno, good wood. And then the Spanish came, and because of the church and colonization, then it turned to Palo Santo. And not very many people know that, so I hope that that's a new fun fact for you to understand. But anybody have any specific questions about Palo Santo before we go into our grounding meditation, or have any other comments?
I know we're not doing it today, but what are the benefits of burning it?
Oh, sure. And actually, thank you for reminding me, because we're going to do a little demo.
Oh, cool.
So, for example, you would take your Palo Santo, obviously out of a Maison Palo Santo pack, no, as seen on TV. And you can use a candle if you'd like. You don't need to. You can also use a lighter or matches or whatever you want. And the best way to do it is you're just going to point it downwards. And you get a really good flame on it. And already you're silent, right? Just like how the shamans use the fire to train their mind for meditation so they can be fire keepers. You can already get into a meditative state by just looking at the flame and bringing all your awareness to the fire. You get a really, really nice flame. And so then you can see the smoke, and you can even follow it with your eyes, and you can say a little mantra or a little prayer for yourself. You can move around your space. So we can imagine this is our living room, and you might move around your space and just hit all the four corners. You could go around the doors, around the windows. I like to protect myself like this. And go around your body. And this is just for some self-care under your feet. And see, you're just silent and you're very aware. And then you can place your stick in a dish, in a flame-proof dish, or wherever you like. But this is a beautiful tool to use, not just to cleanse energy, but to call in the positive. Has anybody ever replaced a bad habit by starting a new good one? That's kind of how I relate to using the Palo Santo, right? Every time you use it, you can say a positive mantra for yourself. And this can be, my favorite mantra is, what if it all worked out for me today? That's it. Just close your eyes for a second, and I want you to say to yourself, what if it all, in your mind's eye, if you want to say it out loud, you can, of course. Nobody's stopping you. What if it all worked out for me? If you can get your Palo Santo and take a little inhale and smell the oil. And then repeat once again. What if it all worked out? And see how much joy, goosebumps in your body, how that feels. And from this beautiful space of the not knowing, the endless possibility, the true 100% belief in yourself, instead of worrying, which is a meditation on what we don't want, how can we call in, using this beautiful botanical treasure that has taken years and years and thousands of hours to be here in our hands, how can we use this as a scent anchor to drop us back into this space and place of truly becoming your highest authentic expression of what you want and who you are. And since Palo Santo takes many, many years to do it, guess what? You can too. It doesn't happen overnight. So let's get super grounded, relaxing the shoulders down, separating the feet apart. If you got your feet crossed or your hands clenched, relax them out, making a little space for yourself. And if closing down your eyes is not comfortable for you, there's a beautiful technique. I think it comes from Buddhist tradition, or I'm not sure where I heard of it, but it's something I like to do, which is a wonderful tool at any time, is kind of gazing out and you're taking in everything and nothing at the same time, because I know sometimes closing down the eyes is a lot. Also, a gentle glance down the bridge of the nose is fine too. Just rolling back the shoulders, unclench your jaw, and we'll take a big breath in through the nose and release it out. Let's do that a couple more times. Big breath in and out. One more time. Big breath in and out. And bringing all of your awareness, your superpowers, this magnificent human being, to the bottom of each foot, the right foot and the left foot. And with this awareness on your feet, you might even be able to feel, visualize, and imagine a heavy sensation in the feet, grounding you down, 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 closer to the earth. And you might even take it a bit farther and feel, visualize, and imagine roots growing from the feet down through the floor, all the way down, 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 through the grass, through the layers of rock, all the way down, 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 down to the center. And it's in this beautiful center that we get to draw clean, pure, positive, protective energy through the roots that will feed our entire system, that will protect us always by sending ripples and layers of loving light, psychic healing through our actions and words, always, all the time. So this can get pretty powerful when we do it together. So let's go through it a couple of times. Take the best, leave the rest. If visualizing is quite complex for you, you might imagine looking at it as if you were sitting in the front seat of a movie theater and you were watching it on a movie. So let's blow all the air out of the lungs, like all the way down, 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 down to the center. And we'll breathe in, drawing the energy up through the roots, all the way up through the legs to the heart, holding here. And we send it back down, 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 down to the center. Drawing up again, breathing in, up through the feet, through the roots, to the knees, all the way to the heart. And sending it down, 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 down to the center. We'll expand this beautiful, purifying, protective energy into the torso and shoulders, drawing the energy up, bigger breath. All the way up to the feet, through the roots, to the knees, to the heart, all the way up to the shoulders. And relaxing it down, 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 down to the center. Again, bigger breath, drawing the energy all the way up from the center, up through the feet, to the knees, to the heart, to the throat, to the third eye and the crown. And exhaling it out, down, 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 down to the center, adding in a little vibration of sound. Breathing in, holding here, and the invitation is to send it down with a hum. Again, breathing in. and we'll release it with a hum. One more time, taking a breath in, biggest breath yet. All the way up and out. Good. Allowing yourself to rest in this beautiful moment of grounded, rooted stillness. And just like Palo Santo, the roots of our tree, they grow pretty quickly and they grow wide and expand. So all of our roots are all connected as one, which is quite powerful, because sometimes the most powerful things that we do are below the surface. And not everybody can see them, including some energies that we can't see. So now that you've created this beautiful relationship with your Palo Santo, and you've created your scent anchor to come back to this grounded space, I'd just like to take another moment to now awaken the creative spirit, which is one of the most beautiful benefits of Palo Santo. So at the center of your heart, which is el corazón, the center of your chest, there's this little tiny light. And it could be like the little flicker of the flame that was on the Palo Santo stick. And at the center of your chest, when you breathe in, and this is going to be for always, you can take this technique with you, not just now in meditation. But as you breathe in, you kind of ignite that little ember, that flame. And as you breathe out, the flame, the light expands across the chest, down the shoulders, down the arms, down the legs. This is the light of your creative spirit, because when we are grounded and centered and at peace, we become the creator of our own reality, no longer affected by other people's energy or the shoulda, coulda, what ifs, which is a form of conditioning that is put on us, which could be considered, as I like to consider, kind of a dark form of energy. So reclaiming our sovereign power, what is happening within us, our inner landscape. Let's do a couple of breaths into the light just to close this down. So breathing into the little ember. Exhale, you can expand the light. Two more times. Breathing in, lighting it up, illuminating, sparking it. And exhale, let it expand and spread through the body. Good. One last time, big breath in. And expand your beautiful light. Good. And if you like to place both hands right at the center of the chest, just to kind of extinguish that light for now, because we can come back to it. Know that nobody can do exactly what you do just the way that you do it, and the Palo Santo is just here as has helped teach me and transform my life. It is my greatest wish that it can be part of your routine to ensure that you feel your best, so that way you can give us what you have to share, because we all have a very important spice for this recipe that we are creating in this beautiful and exciting time to be alive. So we'll just end with one big breath into the heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And exhale to release. Good. And you can roll up the shoulders, shake out the wrists, and it's time to take your little pill of vitamin S, which is Vitamin Smile. It's the most important way to change your day and everybody around you. Sometimes people need help doing this, so smile more.
Like vitamin C too.
Exactly. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
And if anybody has any other question about anything, I'll leave it
Cool. Thanks a lot, Mimi.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Chris.
Sweet. Oh, and can you pass that off to him?
Yeah, and then Kevin is going to come on in.
Sweet.
In a
Oh, he's got his
moment.
name tag on.
Excellent. Can we just clap for Mimi one more time? Thank you. It was beautiful.
I have a question for.
And Milo has a question. What is your question?
That burning Palo Santo smelled so good. My question is, at any point in the night, are we going to throw that whole log onto the fire pit?
Oh my God.
Mimi, are we allowed to throw the whole log onto the fire was the question.
Since it doesn't look that real, we're good. I guess we do Palo Santo ceremony then with logs.
Do you use large logs like this for your Palo Santo ceremonies?
We
Wow.
do not here in Austin
Mhm.
because this is quite hard to
Mhm.
bring because they're heavy, but
Cool.
we do burn some. If you've seen us at like festivals or something, we do
Cool.
have some big pieces that we like to burn.
Well, cool. Well, thank you very much. And you all have Palo Santo. I'd be curious. I think we're allowed to probably burn it in the courtyard area, right? Or do it right on the sidewalk, right in front of Casa de Luz.
Yeah, you can burn
It'll be
Yeah.
it'll be fine. People love
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh, and can I give them their homework assignment?
Yeah, give the
Because
homework assignment.
Because I forgot. So, one of the best ways that you can set yourself up for ultimate success for your day, because let's just face it, we're not always sitting around meditating. Does everybody have the opportunity to sit around and meditate all day? Or do y'all have like jobs and kids and families? Okay, some people do. Okay, great. First thing in the morning, before you look at your phone, and look at Chris's Instagram posts, okay, and how he's keeping up with that, because now we're all watching, but you mentioned that. Take both hands, because it takes both. You take your Palo Santo, you take your lighter. This sounds crazy, but you can't check your phone like that. Do your little mantra, take a few deep breaths, and write a couple of things down for yourself that you want for yourself that are beyond geography or financial limitation, your biggest, wildest dreams, and then start your day. Because what that does is that makes you a creator versus a responder and will help you with every single action that you take throughout the day. And then you can use it at any time to drop yourself back in. So that's your homework tomorrow morning. Can we get like a pack? We're all going to try? Yes. Promise?
We're all gonna try.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And it worked out really well because Kevin and Mimi know each other, and it was just like kind of I mean it's always synergistic and synchronistic. Yeah. And so I want to invite Kevin up. He's a healer here in the village, and we'll see if you want the microphone or not. But when did we first meet? He met like early days of the thing when I was still having it in my at my apartment, which we started filling that up kind of like this room tonight, where we're getting a little tight, but we'll find a new space. It comes when it's meant to. But he was showing off his telekinesis skills, and the fun thing with the telekinesis is I think it just makes people like open to possibility, right?
Yeah.
But then you have another gift that you were saying even clients come to you for even more.
Yeah.
Which when we were workshopping this, we had clients come in and we got to
experience it. It was aligned.
We got to exactly.
I mean, he walked in, and we was basically going to go over today, and exactly touching on the topic that for one of my gifts that I was actually going over with him about. 2 clients walked in and needed a session, and he got to actually witness what I do.
So say a little of what you do. Can you all hear him? Okay. Does he? Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. So I channel. I work with Archangel Michael. That's who I channel. I'm clairvoyant. I'm clairaudient. So I hear very clearly. I can see people's shadows due to their behavior, whether it's light or dark. So if a person walks up to me, I don't only just see, I see their being. I see what is there, and usually what's there that needs to be cleared means there's a behavior that needs to be corrected.
And so when clients come to you, oftentimes you're doing some sort of clearing.
Yes.
That's what we want to talk about today.
Absolutely.
Cool.
And so you ever notice people that might go to church every Sunday and nothing really happens and they complain, but they go every Sunday? Okay, one of the topics I'm going to use, you might find funny, I'm going to call it spiritual masturbation. Not that kind that you think. Okay? The reason I'm saying that is because you can meditate, you can fast, you can do all the techniques, but if you're not walking in the energy of changing your actions, what's the point? The actions have to follow from the practices. Because you can do that meditation and you can get connected with the Holy Spirit, you can get connected with the light. As soon as you step out that door, you're going to be testing what you need to change to stay in the light. And that's where I'm here to help guide, to help you recognize discernment in the cycles, how to end the generational curses, how to end the cycle. But you have to change the behavior to hold the frequency. If you wrestle with lust, you know what that is. You just gluttony. Self-worth, fear, worry, doubt. All those things allow certain things to manipulate your mind. All right. Woo!
Some intense stuff.
I mean, I can keep going. I mean,
So when people find him, you're often, well, we're going to do a podcast where we get a little more into some of the nitty gritty, because we started having a wild conversation about some of the things he's seen, some of the things he's pulled out of people, some of the effects of that. And then when we were workshopping this, the question was, well, what can we help people do now to, well, not take on some of that energy?
yes.
And then also to, if that energy's there, what can they do? They can always seek you out, and you've got techniques,
Yes.
but what are some techniques that they can do for themselves? So that's where some of the energy tools I have. Before we jump into that, is there anything else you want to drop in now? You can always workshop with me as we're going through.
As we go on, but I do want to say, if you could guess the most frequent entity I remove, what do you think it is? Hands. Lucifer.
Mother-in-laws.
I know why you said that.
Self-criticism.
I'm going to say
We got a hand up over here.
fear, lust.
Interesting.
Lust is the most common entity that I remove.
But is that equal across the genders, or that we'll see in men, or we'll see in
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just whatever their behavior, like if they know that they have that behavior, that there's something controlling their behavior. If they lack discipline in the area.
I've seen these inner lights and darknesses in people, and I've actually recorded them. I have video of people's individual inner landscape. It's literally an inner landscape. There's a ancient religion called Zoroastrianism that mentions inner landscapes, and I've seen this myself. My friend meditates there too.
So he was mentioning being able to see actual. Is it inner lights of
Actual people
with a video
Every
camera?
cell in your body
Yeah.
is a spark of the divine.
Mm,
And
right.
we are an entire universe, within our body. Whereas we are a single spark of the divine, in our greater God. And that is these inner landscapes in each of us. That's our own universe.
How about lust? You're not just talking about like sexual lust. You can lust over like material stuff and other things, or like the actual just.
That will be a different entity, but the most that I remove is the sexual. When it comes to like materialistic, that's the difference. I've had to call some by name to remove it. The one that you're speaking on, the lusting over certain materialistics, actually controls social media, which is the same entity that increases depression because you're lacking self-worth because you're constantly looking at someone else's life. So he feeds by off of your emotions of viewing others rather than focusing on self.
So how do you remove lust?
Celibacy.
All right. The question was, how do you remove lust? And the answer was celibacy. And with that being said, lust and sexual energy and all that is a very significant topic. We're not going to go into it too deep tonight. What we will play with, though.
Next Monday.
What we will play with, because I was thinking, what is the kind of the bigger overlapping theme? And it's, well, how do we deal with these difficult people, and then how do we clear? And so I was going to have us do a few things, because we can actually do this in a kind way to each other, but when there's challenging people, we can also do it as a way to protect ourselves. So who has if you have this worksheet, or this, I don't know what we want to call it, but it is, it's a piece of paper that I hand drew, because my eyes get fried on the computer right now. But it has some really powerful techniques in here that we're going to play with tonight. And I'm going to walk through them with you one-on-one, one at a time. We may not do all of them, but we'll do most of them. Specifically for the lust thing, we'll do probably second, which is turning down your second chakra. If you ever feel somebody coming at you, and you feel that energy from them, if you turn down your sexual chakra or your second chakra, which is related with sensual energy, you will actually feel less of that from them. They'll go and find a new source. But first, what we're going to play with is setting a grounding cord for someone else. So Mimi did a fantastic job guiding us in one way of connecting in with the Earth Mother, and that was through our feet, moving down through the roots, down to the center of the earth, and then we could release what needed to be released, we could call in what needed to be called in. In my psychic school, we do something very similar. We set what we call a grounding cord. I think I have the slinky here, where we just imagine we're up here, and center of the earth is down here, and that there is just this energetic column of light, this energetic tube, that connects us up here to the center of the earth. And when we do this, all of the energy that is in our space that is not ours to hold on to moves down our grounding cord. So I would invite you just quickly to close your eyes. We're going to set a grounding cord for ourselves. And then we're going to play, because in my psychic school, it is ethically and karmically fine for us to set a grounding cord for somebody else. This can be useful for somebody who is anxious, can be useful for somebody who is off, and you're like, I need them to at least be more manageable while I'm dealing with them. And of course, it can be a polite thing too. If somebody's just in a state where you're like, let's help them get back more to center. So for you, again, you can tune in. You're probably already feeling quite grounded right now, but you can tune into the base of your spine, right there around the root, and imagine that there's a ball of energy or light, and it can begin to expand out till it reaches the edge, the width of your fingertips. You're sitting in this hollow, energetic sphere of light that defines your personal space. For some people, it would be their aura. So here you are in a giant bubble, giant sphere of light, and now allow that bottom half to extend downwards, down through the floor, through the roots, through the streams, all the way down, 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 until you connect in with the center of the earth. So now you sit up here in the hollow energetic sphere, and you have a hollow energetic tube of light, a hollow energetic cylinder that connects you in with the center of the earth. Gravity pulls from your space all the stuff in your space that doesn't belong to you. When you're dealing with difficult people, if they're projecting their energy at you, it can just move through you, can move through that sphere of light, through your aura, and just move downwards to the grounding, through the grounding cord. You do not have to hold on to it. All right, so I moved fast through that. When you get a moment, begin to bring your attention back to this place in space and time. And now we're going to play with each other. Let's see if I can, I don't know if I can do it with you. I was tuning into you earlier. I was like, can I use Kevin as a demo subject? And you have a little bit of a don't mess with me energy about you. Alan? Yeah, sure. So, and I thought that was really curious. So, but it makes sense with the role you're playing in the world and all that. So I can appreciate that.
Or is it the energies that I'm walking in?
It may have just been you didn't want me to tune in ahead of time to... Let's see. So here, why don't you stand for a second? I think we can do this. I think even with your little... Because we broke it up with some humor. So what we can do for somebody else is if Kevin was feeling off in some way, or if for whatever reason he was a challenging person that I wanted to hopefully be a little less challenging, I can imagine him in a bubble. And then I can imagine that there is a tube of light that connects him with the center of the earth. Now, with just our intention, with our imagination, this does a lot. The more you practice it, the more it starts working. So we're going to pair up, and all you're going to do, and I'll do it visually. I actually use my hands a lot in setting energy for myself and setting my reality. Now, in my psychic school, you could technically just use your mind and just imagine it, but for me, it makes it more real.
Gotcha.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine Kevin in a bubble, and so we're going to break up into groups, and you're going to find somebody, and you're going to put them in a bubble, and when you feel like the bubble is there, then you're going to intend that there is a chute that connects them in with the center of the earth. And I would encourage you to keep your hands like going downwards until you really feel like it's secure in the center. You may want to find a way of it twisting and locking in, or just like sticking in, whatever it might be. And then once you've done that, you can back off. And then you would switch after just a minute. Some of you might notice something, some of you may not notice anything, but that's what we're going to play with now. So easy enough to pair up for a couple minutes and play with this? All right, cool. I have complete faith in you. Oh, this would be very helpful to do standing up. All right, so it seemed like people were noticing what to do there. Who noticed feeling grounded by the other person? Who noticed a felt difference? Wow.
For sure.
Felt difference.
I enjoy the bubble.
You enjoyed the bubble.
I enjoy the bubble because I feel protected.
Sweet. Okay, cool.
I had a very strange experience when I was working with her.
Uh-huh.
I was just here. I kept feeling myself falling into an energy. I had to kind of stop because I felt I was going to be in the test.
Interesting. So he noticed he was almost falling into her energy. Okay, I would have to tap in. I'd be curious more to know about that at some point. What'd you notice?
So I noticed him create the bubble and ground.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he stopped, I felt the bubble like dissipate.
Okay,
So
interesting.
are there any tips to like get it to stay?
So I would say, so he did the grounding, and then as soon as he stopped, it dissipated. Part of that is practice. So because so somebody asked about my psychic school. I've gone to 2 or 3 intuitive school programs. It depends how you count it. It depends what you count as an official class and things like that. But what we learned in these was that when you set a grounding cord, basically the psychic tools, the more you use them, the stronger they get. So at first, there's a lot of attention that needs to be put on. The second the attention of the grounding cord is let go of, you may not have it anymore. And then you just kind of reset and say, oh, my grounding cord's not there. In time, if he were to like practice setting that, he would just be like, boom, locked in. And part of that locked in is the intention of keeping it there, and then it would probably be stronger. So, one other thing, somebody asked, well, how do I do it discreetly? So if I'm like dealing with people, I still do. I'll be pretty discreet. So if I'm talking to somebody and I want to put them in a grounding cord, it still helps for me to be physical. So I'll just kind of do something like this, so I'm bubbling them up, and then I'm doing this to put it down. Often when I'm talking to somebody, I am doing this the entire time to keep them grounded, and I'm also intending that any of my stuff is going down my grounding cord. So I'm just pointing at the ground.
I gotta watch out when we're talking.
Okay, and we are going to play. So the next thing, this is a very kind thing that again in my psychic school is karmically okay to do to anyone. You decide for yourself if it's karmically okay. But this is a source healing. Source, God, creator of all that is, whatever we want to call it. It's going to be actually a lot of structurally similar to what we just did with the grounding cord, except instead you're connecting them up to source and saying, dude, I don't know what to do, but you top them off with whatever they need, and you give them a blessing for whatever's going to help them out. So this is a source healing. Kevin, can I be a demo? Yep. Can you be the demo? So very similar. What I'm going to do this time is I am imagining him again in a bubble. Instead of doing the grounding cord, you can do both, but instead of doing the grounding cord, what I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine that there's like a line that connects just above his crown where the aura is. The top of his aura, or the top of this circle we're setting is right here. And then I'm going to intend that it connects up. And I'm just going to imagine that there's like a fishing line, a white gold line that flies high, high up wherever I imagine source is. I mean, technically source is everywhere, all at once. It's closer than my fingers are right now. And simultaneously, my mind is used to heaven being above, hell being below. So I'm going to imagine it going up high, 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 and then it finding a way of connecting in. And then I'm just going to kind of watch as there's like a channel of light that connects Kevin up above to whatever he needs to receive from source right now. And in a similar way, if you're in your own home at night and you have a nagging mother-in-law or somebody else in your head, and you're like, get out of my head, you can imagine them being in a bubble and then connecting a line up to source. And then since they're not there in person, they're this like etheric being, source will just pull them out of your space and deliver that being wherever they're meant to be. So that would be the way of doing this, in a way of pulling somebody out of your space that you don't need in your space. We're going to do it in the kind way right now of connecting somebody up to source to see what might be of use for them. I do this again. Somebody's frantic or scattered, I might ground them, or I might connect them up to source, or I might do both just to help support them. And it is in support of them. And there's much deeper things I do with source healing, but I wouldn't do that without permission just because it starts getting a little invasive. Anyhow, we can talk about that another time. But okay, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna partner up again. I would recommend finding somebody new, why not? And just, again, bubble them up, and then just imagine connecting them up to source. Now, when I'm dealing with somebody when I'm doing this with, discreetly, I'm gonna bubble up, and then I'm gonna do that. And that's connecting them up to source that way. So anyhow, now everyone's gonna be watching my hand movements. Great. So, okay, so play with that. We'll do it 5-ish or so minutes, 5-10-ish minutes, and we'll come back together and do a few other things to close out. Cool. So coming back together, we'll have Kevin show us how to cut cords. Well, before we do that, who noticed something from the source? Who noticed something when they did the source? You notice. Cool. Do you have more? Who has more fun setting the energy for somebody? Cool. Who has more fun receiving? It's a little bit of both. I asked who has more fun setting the energy, like connecting somebody up or grounding? Okay, cool. And then who has more fun receiving? Sounds like, okay.
Can we have fun with both of them?
And you can have fun with both. I have fun with both. I'm kind of always, I call this setting energy. When we do the grounding core, when we do this, it blends very powerfully into manifestation kinds of practices too. So you're going to have a take-home goodie bag of other techniques. Some we probably won't get to all of them tonight. I just wanted to make sure we had plenty on here. What Kevin, one of the bigger things, one of the more useful ways he clears is with the chords. So we're going to do that in a second. First, we're going to have a demonstrate and explain a little bit about the chords. And yeah, we'll just hand it over to you.
Okay, so, see how I want to start this. Basically, say you come, you just go through a breakup, right? Everybody's like, my ex's energy, I want to get it out. Yeah, I don't want it around me no more, right? So, what I do is, if you stand up, Allison, counterclockwise is what you don't want, right? You know the way the watch tick, right? Clockwise is what you do want. So what I do is I'll start with the spine. I'll have her stand here, and I'll activate her energy this way. But I'll take my hand here, as this hand is placed here. But before I start, I want to ask you guys, do you believe in using your energy or having help? Okay. So I'm going to do my demonstration, and I'm going to call in who I'll call in. So I have my hand on her back. I'll say no negative energy or evil entities are allowed to attach to Allison. You're not welcome here. Counterclockwise. Then I'll spin clockwise, and I'll say, Yahuwah is in Allison's mind, body, and soul. She is protected by Yahuwah from anything negative, evil, or violent, known or unknown. Did y'all hear that? Okay. Then I'll call in the archangels. But I speak love as I'm speaking to them, so you match the frequency of them to allow the healing to filter through you. Saint Christopher, I love you. Saint Michael, I love you. Ariel, I love you. Raphael, I love you. Uriel, I love you. Shamuel, I love you. You have help. But do you ask? And the asking, they're right there always waiting to say, hey, I'm here. But we always think of self, which is ego. Because you literally don't have to use your energy if you ask for help. They're always there. So counterclockwise is what you don't want, and clockwise is what you do. Even when you're looking in the mirror is the portal, you speaking to soul. You tell yourself, I am loved, I am cherished, I am greatly appreciated. I am abundant. But the key to that, after you set those intentions, you walk in it with faith and knowing. Any doubt, it does not work. Any fear, it does not work. Any worry, it does not work. You have to know that you are protected and safe and are worthy of for all these practices to come alive.
Cool. And did you fully cut whatever chord you did. By the way,
Yeah,
what
so-
he's demonstrating his skill. We're going to do it in a little bit more of a,
Yeah.
we're going to go through it. You don't need to memorize what he's teaching right now. This is like just to see what a
Yeah.
healer can do.
Yeah, so when I finish and when I do that, I will start at the back. I will go to the crown and I will charge my hands. We're all electrical, right? Telekinesis. You all seen where most of you can move the foil, right? You charge your hands. You can literally go to the crown and you have to open the heart. Don't do that.
I'm not doing it.
See,
all
she's
right.
sensitive to my. So you go to the crown and you call in help and you speak from the heart. And when you call in the help, it clears the crown. Then you go to the heart, it clears the heart. We have 7 chakras. Sometimes I have to do a full body extraction, sometimes I don't. But you can have literally more than one attachment because you have 7 chakras. Make sense? And so wherever you feel heavy, that's probably the spot you need to go to. You're supposed to feel light. You're supposed to feel that Kundalini activation flowing. Wherever there's blockages, you can do these practices and figure out where the blockages are.
All right, I'm going to share now because Kevin just taught me something that I didn't know I was doing with the clockwise thing. So another way I use my hands, and this is what we'll practice individually when we're doing some of this energy clearing stuff. It's more helpful to do it on your own. So where I notice heaviness in my body or in my aura, what I do is I take my fingers, usually 2 or 3, and I almost spool it as though it's like I was spooling thread.
Yep.
And then I decide either I throw it down my grounding cord or I spool it and I say, all right, source, you take care of this. And that's a simple way that I've found to clear my energy. But I wasn't tracking till now that I always do it clockwise. Yeah.
Wow.
So that could be fun if people want to try. If you can do this sitting, we'll just do a quick body scan. So maybe you have your eyes closed, maybe you have them open. Notice if there's anywhere. This is just a very fast way of you beginning to take more sovereignty over your own energetic cleanliness, your own hygiene, energetic hygiene and all that. And just tune in. Where in your body are you noticing a lack of flow right now? So we can start at the head, move down to the shoulders. I'm noticing a lot in my torso area, but you'll notice where it is for you. So from the shoulders, you can start working your way down.
You want to go counterclockwise.
The torso, the upper, the mid, and the lower. And some of this, just by tuning in, you can intend that energy just move down the grounding cord. But if there's a spot, you could take your hand and just intend, just by circling, as though you're collecting all of that energy, all of that, whatever stuckness it is, collecting it in a ball, and then you decide for yourself, where does it feel like going? You have a grounding cord set. You can toss it down there just like you would toss something down the trash bin. Or you can take it and it's as though you're throwing it far, far away, and it just gets, actually, I guess that's how a balloon floats up, right? It's as though you're kind of throwing it and it just floats off, and then Source is going to clear it for you. Again, I really like using the physicality to get it in the bones for me. And then I do something special with the central channel. For some reason, this seems the most important to have clear. For me, at least, what I've noticed. I've talked to a few different friends of different backgrounds, and they emphasize that too. And so I'll move my hand, my fingers, my middle finger, my index usually. You may want to open your eyes to see how I scan, but it's pretty simple. Just moving up and down from the crown. And then just noticing where anything doesn't fit or isn't smooth. And usually it seems like if it's kind of at the heart layer, the heart chakra area or above, I tend to have it go up. So I tend to just spool it and then throw it up. And usually usually, although not always, if it's at, I would say, the solar plexus, so below the heart or below, it tends to go down. That may be different for you. You can use your own inner wisdom, your own guidance. For me, I followed what felt right for a long time before I even understood what I was doing. And, well, I learned a little bit more tonight of what I'm doing, so.
Likewise. I'm learning from you as well.
And I do have on here, it seems like people are kind of going through their flow, so I'll invite you to continue doing that. But I do have on here a few different exercises. We're not going to jump into all of them right now. The cord cutting is what I thought we might do. Honestly, I do this spooling of energy and then connecting it up to source, actually even more often than I do a cord cutting on myself. The cord cutting is the idea that we have different people who kind of connect in with us to take some of our energy.
Mm-hmm.
And in my psychic school, what we would do in a meditation, and if we were a little more, energetically aware and checking with karma, we might do this for someone else, but we can always do it for ourselves. And if we're scanning the body and we feel like that might be a cord, usually you don't need to know where the cord came from. Sometimes it's useful. But you can always just imagine that you have a psychic pair of scissors that cuts that cord. And then what you would do is tie off both ends of the cord. This stops the reconnection from happening so easily. So you would imagine a pair of energetic hands tying off the part that was connected to you at some part of your body and tying off the other side. You don't really need to know where the cord was that came from someone else. They'll sort that out. But for your end, you would then imagine, just like we did with the spooling, you would imagine kind of pulling that piece of the cord out of you, dropping it down, either the grounding cord or up to source to have it taken care of. And then I'm gonna invite in one more piece right now that I've walked you through it. You can play with it later on your own. There's a few other exercises here too. The protection rose, some have done before.
Mm-hmm.
The arc mirror is quite powerful. Return to sender is just a mantra. If you're I might say a story about that in just a sec. The first time I used that was pretty interesting. But before we do this, let's call in, anytime you clear something out of you, it's very helpful to call back in more of your own energy.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I learned in my psychic school, this is also the third thing you can do in kindness for somebody else, although usually I just connect them up to source, is for you, you can imagine that there's a golden sun above your head, and you can write your name in black magnetic ink, claiming it as yours. And by doing this, your energy begins to pool and return back to this golden sun where it's been left. It's oftentimes left in the future, in the past, with other people, in other places. And it's really helpful for you to have as much of your own energy back as you can for this lifetime. It makes you much more powerful when your energy is collected in the present. So this golden sun just pulling this energy above you, pulling the P-O-O-L-I-N-G version, is just pulling it, a great pull of energy. And then it cracks open, like an egg might crack open. And inside is this golden honey-like substance that represents your energy. And it can flow downward, and it can flow into just where that piece might have been taken out of you to heal that. And it can heal the whole rest of you. So that energy can flow down and it can come to the top of the head, make contact with that. Oftentimes people feel warmth, not every time. But you have this sort of golden honey-like substance that goes onto the head, begins to melt inwards, moves along the sides and the front and the back of the head. It moves down the shoulder and arm channels, healing and updating you and resetting you with your unique spark for this lifetime, resetting you with what makes you uniquely you. More of that energy will continue to move down the torso area, the front and the back, move down the mid-chest, the mid-back, down the lower chest, the lower back, down the hip, the groin, the buttocks, that whole area. And then that energy can continue to move down the leg channels. And when it gets to the feet, It can swirl around and then move out the soles of the feet. And any excess energy you have can move down the grounding cord. And that cracked golden sun can also set down through your space and then set down the grounding cord too. But this golden sun can be a very useful way to recharge and come back a little bit more home to self, especially after doing some sort of treatment.
I can tap in on that.
Give it like 30 seconds and then we'll have you tap in.
Got you.
And whenever you're feeling comfortable, you can begin to return. I've done a lot of different forms of meditation and energy movement tonight. Give yourself some credit for that. And what are you noticing, Kevin? What were you going to bring up related to this?
So basically what I was going to speak on, basically what you just did was a technique to clear your field, right? And get your energy back. So what's the next step after that is to recognize why you needed to do it in the first place, so you don't have to do it again. One, it could be behavior change, or it could be a boundary need to be drawn from the person that you just cleared out of your field. So it's recognizing where it came from to then defending yourself from it. And it's recognizing who brought it. Was it myself or someone else? And that should help you understand a little bit more about the cycles. So you don't wind up being in a repetitive cycle, you ascend from the cycle you no longer want to be a part of, or frequency that's lower.
Who noticed something with the golden sun? Yeah, okay. Thanks for playing, guys. There are more exercises. I feel like we're gonna we're going up against bandwidth right now. I'm gonna share one thing that I think is quite fun, the return to sender. This is on, well, you should be able to see it on the worksheet. It's just a very simple, so once upon a time I had a spiritual awakening and it was a very exciting time. It was all butterflies and I don't know, dandelions or something like, and things were just coming into my field and love and joy. Until it wasn't. I became very, very energetically sensitive to everything. Luckily, I found a teacher not too long after that who showed me my first two tools. One was the grounding cord. And then she brought up this thing about return to center, and I thought, well, I don't really know when I would need this. It's for psychic attack. Whenever people are gossiping about us, whenever people have negative thoughts about us, that energy goes somewhere. It goes to us, and we might feel it, especially if it's a particular number of people have the energy concentrated on us, or if we're just very sensitive. So once upon a time, when I had my spiritual awakening, I could not do the job I was doing anymore. It felt a little bit out of alignment. So one day I was supposed to send an email to a big email list to make the company a lot of money, and my head would not let me do it. Every time I looked at the computer, I would get dizzy. I would forget things. It was just the weirdest thing. And so I took a moment. I walked around the block. I was thinking, what is going on? How do I not know how to do basic computer functions right now? And I had to talk to God, talk to whatever you want to call it. And I said, if I quit this job today, or if I don't do this, like, will all this weird confusion I'm experiencing go? And the answer was yes. So I told my boss, I'm not going to send the email. I'm going to instead quit with 1 day's notice. And he wasn't really thrilled by that, you could imagine. So for me, I went about my day. I was enjoying, being free. And then later I had this like splitting anxiety, headache, like confusion thing. And I was like, what is happening right now? I was so confused. I luckily knew this. I set a saltwater bath for myself. I knew this return to sender thing, so I did it, and it actually helped quite a bit. Later on, I would look online, and about when I experienced this anxiety attack and all this, my former boss had posted about how unreliable help can be, and he had like hundreds and hundreds of comments below it about how you can't trust anyone and all these things where even though I wasn't called out by name, it was directed at me, or at least I was the subject matter of So anyhow, return to sender can be very powerful. Anything that people put out will eventually come back to them anyhow. We may as well speed up the process. So, so you can just intend. I wrote it down here. You can make your own words for it. But with love, conviction, and sovereignty, I release all that does not belong to me. May it return to the source of its creation so that cycles complete and I am free. Now you can come up with your own version of that. That's what came through for me, but it can be a very useful thing for you to play with. So, sweet. So with that, I'm going to say we do have a little bit more time, but it feels like we're at a good closing point. So I was going to just show you one last simple way of completing karma, and then please stay to hang and socialize. If you have questions about these other things on here, happy to talk a little bit more about it and geek out on it. And do you have anything you want to close with?
Also, everything he said, there are certain healing crystals that do protect you from some of those things. Hematite actually protects you from gossip. Spoilerite actually protects you from psychic attacks and black magic. It sends it directly back to sender. Just having it in your home, just like having it in your space. So there's everything that he said. There's actually also healing crystals that also protect you from those things.
Sweet. Cool. And okay, there's been a lot of energy exchange tonight. We've done a lot of fun things. It is good to keep everything karmically clean, that we didn't start anything new that we have to finish later or any of that. Simplest way that I've intuited that we do this is you can just imagine that there's the word karma in block letters in front of you. I imagine it kind of like the Flintstones letters, for people who remember that. And just let that be symbolic of all the energy that was exchanged in any way tonight. And now you have two tools that you can use. You can either allow this to drop down the grounding cord and Mother Earth heal or reset the karma and clear it, or you can imagine it rising up to source taking it away and completing the karma. There's other ways of doing things too, but we're going to play with one of those two for you tonight. And whenever you're beginning to kind of feel complete, you know, we will end with like everybody sharing one word. I feel like we're kind of in that communal vibe. So if it helps to feel complete, maybe you connect yourself up to source for a little bit of topping off. Maybe you imagine a golden sun above your head that cracks open, fills you back in. Maybe you just chillax in the energy of the group and feeling like one of many on a really cool journey. And since we do have just a few more minutes, I feel like we'll just do one closing with people sharing a word that sums up their night, and then we'll we'll go out into the world and do a bunch of Palo Santo stuff and, you know, have a good old time. So, dang. My word for tonight is God. That's what's coming through right now.
Mine's cohesion.
Cohesion. We'll go a little bit in a circle after this. Thank you, Jacob. Right. Kevin, what's your word? If you've got one, what's a word that just kind of sums up your night tonight?
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Grace.
Grace.
I would say presence.
Presence. Thank you.
Grounding's the strong word.
Grounding's the strong word. Protection. Peace. Unexpected. Clarity. Connection. Trust. Ascension. Faith. Fate or faith? Faith. Thank you. And you went, Ben, right? Yeah, gotcha. Dream. Drained. In a good way or a?
Like energetically drained.
Okay. We'll find a way to connect you up if you need it later. What's that? Being.
Mine's also connection.
Connection. You want to play Dakota?
Oh, I'm okay.
Okay. Sounds good. Community. Whoa, cool. Energy.
Gnosis.
Gnosis.
Charged.
Charged.
Fun.
Fun.
Light.
Light.
Gathering.
Gathering.
Chill.
Shoe? Chill. Shoe would have been okay too, but Kevin. Learning. Suchness? Sweet. Mike. Connected. I guess we'll move to the back. Priya. Clarity. Serendipity. Alignment. Palo Santo. Perfect. What is that? Golden. And we'll go back to we did Mike. Yeah, you. David, cool. Martin, inspired. Expansive.
Also
Flow?
Yeah.
Yeah, flow. Awesome. Abundant. Patience. Thank you for being patient. Perspective. Openness. Benji. Integration. Connected. Light. Peace. Connected. Source. All right. Affirming. Grounded. Empowered. Release. Sweet. Well, thanks so much for being here tonight, y'all. And Seeker's Paradise in 2 weeks. You'll find it if you go to the written version of my Instagram there, but it's in the emails and stuff like that. And it'll be really cool. But I don't know, other things are coming up. Thanks
This
so.
is my favorite part. Thank
What?
you for creating
Yeah.
this on your own.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just want to say thank you for that.
Yeah.
Because I saw that and I didn't know if it was intentional or on the go or what, but I thought it was nice to be original. So
Cool.
thank you.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
This is inner child.
Yeah, that's my inner child. Cool. Well, thanks so much for coming, everyone. Yeah, please, again, like the whole point of this was to build community, to meet each other, to get to have interesting conversations we don't normally get to have. So please enjoy. They close at 9, so hang around until then. All right, bye for now.
And we're gonna do a raffle for our product. So if anybody wants to join, you can just scan the code. We do a monthly gift basket. It's up here, and we've got some fruit spray if anybody wants to.
I'll send a link for that too.
Oh, okay,
So,
perfect. Yeah, so you don't need to worry about it.
All right.
Cool.